I'm Susan Duggan and I'm here in Atlantis Crytsals in Dublin, where we have our small centre, therapy room and classroom. We hold meditations and sell a wonderful range of crystals here. Today I'm talking to David Ellis, who is going to do some crystal work with us. David.
Hi Susan, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Today we're going to prepare for a crystal grid, a grid of protection. And in order to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cleanse the crystals that we have, and then we're going to program them to do the work for us.
So David, what exactly is a grid of protection?
Well, if you can imagine for your home, we'll just take your home for example, and you want to create a sacred space in your home. You could want to enhance many aspects of your home. You could want to enhance love. You could want to just enhance protection on its own. So we would set up a protection grid and ask the elementals within the crystals to actually work for us in keeping us safe in our home environment. That home environment, we're only talking about home. It could be your office, it could be your warehouse, it could be your park, it could be your garden, it could be anything. Okay, so in order to do a cleansing and programming of crystals, there's a couple of components that we need. One of the most important components that we need is to be in a reasonable good form. So in other words, there's really little point in doing this work if you're in bad form, because these crystals remember everything. They have always remembered everything, and they will remember and pick up your bad form. So you need to be in some reasonable form.
Okay.
A couple of things we need. We need to have a candle. It doesn't necessarily have to be a beautiful amethyst tea light holder, as long as we have a candle, which we're going to light now. And when we're lighting the candle, in our mind, we're thinking about calling in Archangel Michael to protect us. So it's not just about lighting a candle. We need to have some incense, and in this case, I only use Nag Champa, which is very, very pure. And again, we need to light the Nag Champa. And whilst we're lighting it, it's important for us to concentrate on what it is that we're doing. We're not just lighting a piece of incense, right? We're now igniting from a candle that we have dedicated to Archangel Michael to actually light this incense, and this incense again is going to bring us protection, okay? And of course, as you already know, you never blow out incense. You always allow the elements to actually take out the flame. So there's our incense in place.
And David, just for any of our viewers, if they don't have Nag Champa, can they use a different type of incense?
Of course they can.
Okay.
Of course they can.
Okay.
Clear quartz crystal cluster. Okay, we're going to use a clear quartz crystal cluster on our altar because we want to amplify what it is that we're doing. Clear quartz always amplifies our intention and the energy.
Again, sorry, I'm going to keep interrupting you. Does it have to be a cluster? Like people may not have clusters?
No, absolutely not. It can be a tumblestone. It can be
Perfect.
It can be a Buddha. It can be a figurine. It can be an animal. It can be anything at all that is clear quartz.
Okay.
We're just very lucky here at Atlantis Crytsals in Dublin that we have such a huge array of these magnificent specimens, and I have selected this beauty for today. We can also add onto our altar symbolicness. So in this case I have added the symbolicness of the angel. Okay, so the angel is going to work with us today. Okay, I've also added the symbolicness of Mother Mary and Jesus. Okay, so Mother Mary and Jesus we're going to call in later on so that we can work with both of these magnificent deity later. Kuan Yin also the same thing, we're going to call in Kuan Yin, and of course Buddha, which we're going to work with. In fact, we have two Buddhas today. One is fluorite and one is rose quartz, but you really only need to have one. And you don't need to have all of these. You only need to have one deity, whichever deity that you're so choosing to work with.
And again, David, if somebody, if our viewers at home don't have a statue or a statuette, can they use a picture or,
a picture, absolutely,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
A picture or a statue of the deity that you so choose to use. Okay, we're going to use some fresh flowers. Again, it's the symbolicness of Mother Earth and nature. And what I'm saying to you guys, I'm saying to you, Susan, is that if you want to do this work, put your heart and soul into the work. Be in your heart space when you're doing this. Connect in with your guides and really and truly believe in what you're doing. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, there's no point in doing it.
But just talk to us a little bit about the heart space, David.
Well, we're all familiar with her chakras. I'm making that assumption. That would be a workshop for another day. But our heart space, our heart chakra, which is the bridge between our upper chakras and our lower chakras, this is where we bind the elements of the earth with the elements of heaven. The energies from our Mother, Father, God flow down from the heaven. The energies from Mother Earth flow up through the root chakra. They merge in the heart. This is our heart space. If we go to the top of Grafton Street, for example, and I stand at the top of Grafton Street and I close my eyes, and this can be done, I'm going to dramatize this. It doesn't have to be as long as this. If I close my eyes and I go into my heart space, where I feel that feeling of love, and I call upon my guides to help me expand that, and I spin that in a clockwise direction, and then I propel that down Grafton Street. What's happening is that all of the people in Grafton Street are being affected by the love I'm sending down Grafton Street. They don't know it, but rest assured, what I've just done is empowered all these people in Grafton Street. So that's the power of our heart space. And the 9 pieces that I have are 4 clear quartz crystal points, 4 amethyst points, and an amethyst pyramid. Now, before we do anything, we gotta cleanse these, because these haven't been cleansed from the time that they were taken from the shop. They're going to remember everything. They're going to remember when these, if you can imagine that these points all came from clusters. So this will be suggestive that these points are all part of a family. And so we've taken them from their family, okay? So they remember that process, okay? The other thing that they will remember is the whole growth process, just the same as we remember our growth process. If you can imagine, why do we use clear quartz in every computer in the world? We use it because of its ability to remember. They remember the mining process. Sometimes in the mining process that can be quite horrific, and sometimes it can be quite pleasant. The supplier that we use here, these are Brazilian and these are Brazilian. They come from a mine obviously in Brazil, and the people who mine them actually really care about what they do. Sometimes you can buy crystals and they just don't feel that great, because the mining process has been so horrific that the people who are mining them are only mining them for money. They're not interested in anything else. So the remembrance, they remember everything. Then they arrive in the country, they get handled by loads of people, then they go into a shop and people touch them and feel them, and they're absorbing all of this energy. Okay, so we're going to call in Archangel Michael to protect us. Archangel Michael, we invoke the sweet name. We call upon your presence to place a blue cloak of protection around the space and keep us safe and minded in all that we do. Surround this table with your blue flame of protection and keep us safe and minded in all that we do. The next thing that we need to do is we need to invoke the deity that we're going to work with. And as I said earlier, the 4 deities that I wish to work with today are Mary and Jesus, Kuan Yin and Buddha. So we're going to call in those now so that they're present with us in this process. So we call upon the great Buddha, Prince of Compassion, to be present in our company now and surround us with your essence of compassion. Mother Mary, sweet Mother Mary, we call upon you now to be present in this space, surround us and fill our hearts with your unconditional love. Sweet Jesus, we invoke the sweet name. Fill our hearts with wisdom so that we know what we are to know, and we are aware of our knowingness. Kuan Yin, I call upon you now to stand beside me. Fill my heart with your mercy and allow that mercy resonate in my heart and permeate every atom of every atom of every atom of my being. I call upon the angels that walk with us every day to surround us now and empower this energy. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to empower this beautiful water with the essence of love. If you're a Reiki practitioner, or you know Reiki, or you're a Reiki master, then use Reiki. If you're a Sakin master, use Sakin. If you're none of the above, just concentrate on filling the water with the essence of love. And to do that, it's very simple. You simply put your fingers into the water and begin to feel love in your heart, and allow that love flow through your heart space and flow down through your fingers into the water, and feel the difference in the water. It's nice. Okay, so down to the cleansing of the crystals. We're going to take one of the points and we're going to place it in the water, and what I'm going to do is I'm rubbing my finger along the crystal to sense whether it's, slimy or vibrant or stagnant or whatever. And as I do that, I'm concentrating on the guides and angels that are working with me. And I begin to say aloud, I cleanse and clear and release this crystal from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. I cleanse and clear and release this crystal from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. I cleanse and clear and release this crystal now from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. So now I take my lovely white cloth and I begin to clean the crystal. And again I'm thinking about the connection I've just made with my Mother, Father, God, and the invitation I have extended to the deity. And again I say, I cleanse and clear and release this crystal now from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. So what I'm going to suggest is, maybe Susan, that you take this and I want you to just feel the feeling of the crystal in the water, and tell me what you feel. Does it feel slimy or sticky? Or
it's a bit sticky.
Okay.
There's a bit slimy, yeah.
The sticky parts are not really the difficulty. It's the slimy parts are the problem. Okay? The sticky parts are just simply small blockages, but the slimy parts are really where the dark energy has covered the surface of the crystal and the elemental within is just not able to breathe. Okay, we're only going to do 2. I mean, you can see the process. We need to do this 9 times. I want to polish it because I care about it. I care what it looks like. I care how it feels. Now, if this crystal had a load of labels stuck on it, for example, from being in the shop and from coming from Brazil, ordinary plain water may not suffice. So what you would have to use is some form of detergent. And I would simply say this to you. People say to me, and what kind of detergent will I use? And I ask the question, what kind of detergent do you use on your baby or on your skin? Do you use bleach? Do you use washing up liquid? Or do you use something that has a pH balance that's going to be in harmony with your skin? And therefore you employ the same principle to the crystal. Okay, so it's about loving and caring the crystal. It's not about just sticking it in a pot of bleach and hoping it's going to clear itself. The pyramid in the properties of the protection grid is important. It's important because of its geometric shape. Everything rebels against the sides of a pyramid. It's one of the most solid structures that is known to man. So therefore, the pyramid's structure in itself is very, very, very robust and very, very strong. And you might say at home, well then if it's so robust, then why are you going to cleanse it? Because it wasn't born as a pyramid. This has been carved as a pyramid. So before it was carved, it wasn't cleansed. Because people who carve crystals generally don't cleanse them. So we're going to do a little quick job on our pyramid. I cleanse and clear and release this crystal now from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. That feels a lot better now. So, we're going to give it a little dry off, the same as we would give a little baby a dry off, and we care about it. I cleanse and clear and release this crystal now from all negative power, all negative energy and all negativity. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. Cleansing, clearing and releasing. There you go. Yeah. So now, these are now cleansed crystals. The next thing we need to do is we need to empower them to do what we want them to do. Because now they're like vacant vessels, okay? So we need to awaken the elemental within the crystal. We need to empower it with the right energy, being the Christ energy, or the universal light energy. And then we need to program it to do what it is that we want to do. Just the same as you would program a computer. The only difference is that this time you're doing it with a bit of care and a bit of attention, a bit of love. So we'll just move our little bowl of water and we place this down so that it has a new base, a new foundation. And I want you to just touch those crystals, Susan, and tell me whether you feel that they're, you know, shiny or new or sluggish or...
Yes, there is a different energy from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to do the amethyst first. And again, we're going to go into our heart space and we're going to touch the crystals that we're going to work with. I call upon the divas of the crystalline kingdom to reawaken the elemental within these crystals now. Reawaken the elemental within. Reawaken the elemental within. I empower these crystals with the power of protection. I infuse the Christ-like light energy into these crystals now. I fill these crystals with the unconditional love of Mother Mary. Archangel Michael, surround each and every one of these crystals with your blue flame of protection. So as they sit in the grid, they gather momentum unto themselves, dark energy, and all negative power in any space. And they hold this energy as a vessel until released, amplifying powerful protection within the grid. And so it is. And now we want to empower our clear quartz, because the clear quartz has a different purpose than the amethyst in the grid of protection. So we can't ask them all to do the same thing. So we want the clear quartz to do something different. And again, touching the crystal, going into your heart space. I reawaken the elemental within. I reawaken the elemental within. I reawaken the elemental within. I call upon the divas of the crystalline kingdom to empower this crystal with amplification, so that whilst it sits in the grid, it amplifies the energies of protection provided by the amethyst. I infuse the Christ energy into this crystal now. I call upon the universal light to fill this crystal. Archangel Michael, surround this crystal now with your blue flame of protection. And keep it safe, keep it minded along its journey, and so it is. Okay, so now we have cleansed and programmed our crystals, and now combined with the rest of them, they're all ready to go and they're all ready to do some work. But you can see that in order to have these crystals do the work that you want them to do, you need to cleanse them, and you need to empower them, and you need to spend a little bit of time in doing it.
Okay.
What you put in, you get out.
Okay, and David, you were talking about the empowering the crystals to be vessels for all of the negativity and the negative energy.
Yes.
So, how often do they need to be cleaned then?
It depends on how stagnant your space is.
Okay.
So if you have, for example, an office space that is under constant threat in a very negative state, then these crystals need to be cleansed quite often.
You mean like if it was a public office or something like that, if there were people coming in, or are you just talking about if, sort of the work you're doing is particularly difficult, or...
If you had a nasty boss,
okay,
and that nasty boss was empowering bullying tactics within his staff, then it's going to take a little bit of time for the crystals to be able to diffuse that bullying attitude. So therefore they would require a little more work. If, for example, these crystals are sitting in a loving, caring home environment, then they don't need to be cleansed that often, maybe once a month. The thing is that as you begin to become attuned with the energy of the crystal, you walk into a room and you go, the crystals need to be cleansed today.
okay.
So you just begin to know.
So if they were, for instance, in a therapy room, then they might need to be done more often than if they were, in a bedroom of a sort of...
Yes, if they're in a therapy room, they definitely need to be done every day.
Excellent. Thank you very much, David.
You're very welcome. And next week we'll talk about how the grid is structured, where it's placed, and all of the energies that a grid can help us with, and the benefits a grid has. Thank you very much indeed for watching today, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye now, and God bless.